Hi, it's Michelle and Nyong'o here from Stride Wellness on the first segment of Wellness Wednesday for the 2018 year. So first of all, I want to say welcome and thank you for joining me and Happy New Year. I'm so excited to be back on Facebook Live after a little bit of a hiatus. I was super busy at the end of 2017 with an online course that I was doing on grief and loss. So it took up a ton of my time. And as a result, I wasn't able to get on Facebook Live as much as I wanted. So I thought this is a great opportunity to kick that back up into gear and start again for the new year. So again, welcome. My name is Michelle Nyong'o from Stride Wellness, and this is Wellness Wednesday. And today we're going to be talking about a topic that's pretty timely, and that's New Year's resolutions. So we're going to go a little bit more in depth than that, but I wanted to start off with something a friend of mine had written about on his own blog at the end of 2017, and he wrote this blog and it was called Begin All Things with Gratitude. And it really hit home with me. I thought, wow, what a wonderful way to look at things. And so that sat with me for the end part of 2017. And as 2017 was wrapping up and 2018 was rolling in, I thought again about it and about how great it would be not just to begin something, but begin an entire year with gratitude. So let's just listen to my reasoning for this. You know, when 2018 comes in and you get excited, there's growth, there's opportunity for change, for new things. I mean, who doesn't get excited about that? I know I do, don't you? And so when resolution time comes about, it is an exciting thing, and I find it exciting as well. Unfortunately, resolutions are very rarely carried out. There's only a small proportion of people that finish their resolutions or even make it past January 14th with their resolution. And that's okay. And I thought to myself, well, why is that? And a number of things came to mind, but one of which is that it's kind of a negative process. We go through this evaluation of ourselves where we think, okay, what are all the things that I don't like? What is it that I want to change? What is it that, I don't like about myself? Or what do I want to be? Which is a great thing, but at the same time, it's because you're thinking of all the things that you don't really want to have for your life. And as a result, it can feel really, hi Marilyn, thanks for joining in all the way from Mexico. I'm talking about New Year's resolutions and how we can start off with some gratitude as opposed to just an evaluation of all the negative things about ourselves. So as I continue on, I think, well, you're starting off the year in a negative foothold. You're looking and evaluating and making a list of all the stuff that you don't like about yourself in an effort to want to change it. And so it's kind of like you're starting in a hole. And I thought to myself, well, what if we took instead an inventory of all the things that we are grateful for? So we make an inventory of all of our strengths and all of the stuff that we love in our life and all of the things that we find that are positives, and start from that place instead. Now that might sound a little bit odd because resolutions kind of, they're talking about change. Hi Dee, thanks for joining in. But what if we started at a place of positivity? So just bear with me here as I kind of go a little bit on a tangent. When we start something from a negative place, the point of the resolution is to get to a place of positivity. It's something that we want for ourselves, something good. So whether that's, a change in the way that we look, our weight, our health, our wealth, all of these types of things. We're looking to put ourselves into the positive. But when we start from a negative, can you see how hard it is to move from a negative to a positive? And this isn't math. 2 negatives don't make a positive. I included that only because that's probably one of the only things I remember from math class. But math, when we start from a negative place, moving to a positive place takes so much more work. So instead, what if we started from a place of positivity? What if we started from a place of gratitude and thankfulness? Could you see how moving from that point to a point of change would be a lot easier? How we could just say, okay, we're moving from something good to something better. And then I want to take it one step further. We don't just want positivity. Really, what I'm hoping we want for ourselves is abundance, an abundance of joy and happiness and love and wealth and health and all of those great things in our life, because I think we deserve them. So if we're able to move to a point of abundance, that's even one step further up the positivity chain. So if we start in a place of negativity, that's a lot of work. Now, we can do it. People can move from a negative place to a positive place, obviously. But the thing is that it takes a lot more work to get there. So if we start in that place of positivity, in that place of gratefulness and gratitude and thankfulness, to get to a point of abundance is only just one step further up the chain. So, or up the ladder. Does that make sense? So then my thought was, okay, beginning all things with gratitude, and how does that relate to our resolutions, and how can we work that out? So I did some thinking on it, and I thought, well, I think the first place is just to start with an inventory, a list of all the things that you're grateful for, your strengths, the things that you do well, the things that you are happy for in your life. And it doesn't have to be an exhaustive list, but if you just started there from a place of, say for instance, you wanted to change something about your health, and instead of saying, oh, I never eat the way that I should, and I don't drink enough water, and in reframing it and thinking from a place of gratitude that, I'm so thankful that I'm able to, have food, and that I do have food on the table, that I am able to eat nutritiously, that I live in a country where food is readily available and we have high quality food. Thinking of all of the positive things and then moving at a place of betterment. I want to take those things that I'm doing and do them a little bit better. I want to make some different choices, because really we're so fortunate that we are able to have choice, that we can go to a grocery store and choose what it is that we want, and that there's an abundance of it there, and that we have the money to be able to do so. So there's lots of really great things to be grateful for, to be thankful for. And start off by just basically counting your blessings. And then second is to accept where it is that you're at. And it's not an evaluation. It's not a judgment of where you stand. It's more just saying, okay, this is where I am at this current time, and that's okay. And I'm going to take a step forward in the year of 2018. And I'm super excited because there's basically a holy grail to goal setting. And I much prefer to call it goal setting than resolutions. I know we call them New Year's resolutions, but resolutions are basically just statements of things that we're going to do. And, so many people fail at resolutions. It's just a known fact. It's kind of become a joke. You see it on TV, you see it on the news, people talking about New Year's resolutions. And who doesn't feel frustrated or disappointed when you make a resolution and you don't stick to it? I think of times when people are like, oh, did you make a resolution? And, sometimes we boldly say that we did. And then shortly after we cringe because we think, ugh, I didn't stick to it. It's not something that I was able to carry out. Who hasn't felt that way? who hasn't, felt yucky about, letting themselves down or feeling disappointed that they weren't able to carry it out or made the same resolution year after year. And that's understandable because resolutions are just basically statements and goals have a plan. So it's no wonder that people fail because they didn't have a blueprint. They didn't have a step-by-step plan about how to carry their goals or those resolutions out. So, discarding all those resolutions, and yeah, it's only January 3rd. So the wonderful thing is we have the ability to maybe alter them. And that's why I came up with a blueprint on how to set goals that'll give you a really high chance of completing them. And I created it in a blueprint, and you can get it for free. You just have to go to www.stridewellness.org/SMART goals. So that's the holy grail. Somebody out there, super smart, not sure who, came up with it, and it's called a SMART goal. And SMART is actually an acronym. Each of the letters stands for something. And if you're able to go through and fill out your goals in a smart way, you're much more likely to complete them because it gives you a blueprint. It gives you a guide, a blueprint. It's very actionable. It's a step-by-step process that you can go through to ensure that your goal is set up properly, and then you're much more likely to complete it. So I'll just quickly go over what SMART goal is. SMART stands for specific. So you want to be really specific about what it is that you want. You don't want to just say, okay, I want to lose weight in 2018. Be specific. So how much weight is it that you want to actually lose? So a lot of people say, well, I want to get healthier in 2018. So healthier is really hard to achieve because it's not a SMART goal. It's not specific. So listing it out, that might mean I want to drink, more water. I want to take my supplements. I want to exercise this amount of time per week, so forth and so on. And then, so first you have SMART, in the SMART goal, first you have is specific. And then for M, it's measurable. So it's one of the things that we have to keep in mind is that when we're setting a goal, we want it to be measurable. So think of this as, how do you know when you've reached it? That's a measurable goal. You know you've reached it because such and such has happened. So you might say, I want to be able to, I want to exercise more. But instead of exercise more, give it a number. So I want to exercise 3 days a week. And you've achieved it because you've exercised 3 days a week. But you also want to say for how long. So I want to do it for this amount of time. So make sure that it's measurable. So the first is specific, second is measurable. A stands for achievable or attainable. So you want to stretch. Stretching your goals is a great thing, but you also want to make sure that it is attainable. You don't want to say, okay, I want to lose 32 pounds in January, because for most people, that should just never happen. So you want to make sure that it's attainable and achievable. And keep that in mind, because if we are able to get it into that zone of being achievable, we're much more likely to complete it. When we set it way too high and we can't achieve it, then we are unlikely to, it's disappointing. And then also if you set it too low, the motivation to get it done greatly diminishes. So you want to make it a bit of a stretch. You want to make it something that you want to work towards, but it also needs to be achievable. So specific, measurable, attainable, and then R stands for realistic. So it's something that is realistic to your lifestyle, something that you're capable of doing, but that it's realistic. So it's specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and then the final one is time-bound or timely. So you want to give it a time frame, and you want to make it for a certain amount of time. you can set it for a year, you can set it for 5 months, 6 months, 3 weeks, whatever it is that you want to do. But when you put it into a time frame, it actually provides more motivation to get it done within that time frame, but it also helps with your measurable portion of the goal as well. So you know that, okay, I know that I've achieved this goal when I've completed it in this amount of time. But you also don't want to make it too far in advance. If it's really, really far in advance, you're actually better off to chunk it down into smaller portions. So you might have one large, grand idea. Awesome. Reach for the stars. But chunking it into smaller, SMART goals will actually help you achieve it faster, and you'll stay more motivated, because don't you feel better when you can kind of check something off the list and say, yes, I completed that portion, and it motivates you to get on to the next portion. So chunking it down into smaller bits, and you can do that within a time period. Also, just to say, oh, I just want to get healthier in 2018. Again, that's not time bound, because it's in 2018, but if you want to say, okay, I want to lose 1 pound per week for the next 10 weeks. That's specific, it's measurable, and it's also time bound. It's achievable, and it's realistic. So you can see the goal doesn't have to be super long or wordy, but it just needs to be those 5 things. And I'll give you a little bonus. People who share their goal with somebody else is much more likely to complete it. So if you can tell somebody else, because they can help you to hold yourself accountable, but it's also, we have this weird thing where we don't like to let other people down. So if we tell other people that this is what we're going to do, we're more likely to hold to it. And especially if it's somebody that we care about, they can check in with us and ask us, hey, how's it going? So having that accountability. So telling somebody does actually assist. Another little tidbit, and I'm going to cover this in another Wellness Wednesday, but in putting some skin in the game, whether it's a little bit of money or if it's something to hold you accountable, you're also more likely to complete it. So for instance, I'll give you an example. During my course, I gave away the course to a few people for free. It wasn't for free, but they needed to carry out some certain things. They were previous clients or family and friends, and they were able to participate in the course for free. And then I had another grouping of people who participated in the course, and those people all paid for the course. Now, I will tell you, the completion rate for the people who paid for the course was 100%. The people who did not pay for the course, it was dismal. Like, basically, the participation was extremely, extremely low. And of those people, nobody completed it at 100%, which meant 100% attendance, etc. So, it just, for whatever reason, putting some skin in the game makes a difference to our motivation. So that's one thing that we can use to help us with our goals. So my invitation to you this new year, even though we're a few days in, doesn't mean that we can't go back and just alter some of those resolutions and make them SMART goals. But I encourage you, before you do that, to start from a place of gratitude. Begin all things with gratitude. And I think that out of gratitude, not only will we find some presence in where we are, but we'll be thankful. But I truly believe that that's the way that we can move towards abundance. So thank you so much for joining me here today on Wellness Wednesday. If you've come from Twitter or Instagram or YouTube to my Facebook page to watch it, please like my Facebook page. It's Stride Wellness. I am on Twitter at, the handle is at Wellness Stride. And I'm also on Instagram on Stride Wellness, just started that. And actually I'm also on Pinterest. So that just happened in the last week, and I'll also be posting this to Facebook. So you can find this on a bunch of places and as well on my website. So if you are interested in having the blueprint to help you walk through a SMART goal or multiple SMART goals, please head over to my website. It's www.stridewellness.org/SMART goals, one word. Or those are together. So you can grab that PDF and start working through your goals. I did just set that up. So if you have any difficulties, please message me and I'll ensure that it gets emailed to you. So have a wonderful 2018. I look forward to connecting with you throughout the year. Thank you so much for joining me here on Wellness Wednesday. I'm going to sign off, but I wanted to tell you before that I do that I'm so grateful to have everybody that I've been able to cross paths with in 2017 through my business in my life. So that's one of the ways that I am grateful this year, and my gratitude and thankfulness towards you will be to offer you that juicy PDF with all of the blueprint for the SMART goals. So take care and be well.